Hello and welcome back to ChäoS Head Noah. My name is Maybe Dennis, and last time we got our first ending, the Silent Sky, and we did that by starting off with Takumi with a stake up his butt, and after getting through that delusion, Genichi Niroche decided to disable it, and then we kind of just suffered a little bit more. He gave us a final delusion that made us essentially melt down, literally, as Takumi's in his mind he was just kind of disintegrating or whatever, becoming one with the world. Shogun comes up and says, "No, you're still a being. You still have some semblance of self. Look at all these girls praying." And after listening to the prayers of all the main girls in the game, he comes back to life, all healed, and essentially summons a giant black darkness snake that ends up basically sending Nerosei into Noah 2 and having it kind of explode. And that was basically the last scene before we loop back to the intro, where we're in a ruined Shibuya. And we see Rimi, who's just there, and she ends up, kissing and killing Takumi. So that was the end of the first ending, the Silent Sky. So now I'm just following a guide in order to get the other endings. Don't know how far I'll go, but I'll at least do one. And I'm following a guide on finalweapon.net, and I'm not really sure, I just kind of googled it. But there's supposed to be that was Route A, this will be Route B, where I have to follow certain choices, and here's the first one: the school swimsuit and glasses. So I'm gonna start making these choices. Like I said in the previous episode when I was skipping through this stuff, the auto skip is kind of weird. It kind of stops once in a while to play a line that I'm pretty sure I've already heard, but whatever, we'll go through it. So I gotta keep track of all my choices now. First one is no. Second one is also no. Competition swimsuits are better than school swimsuits. No! Next one is also no. Socks. Over the knee socks. No! And it'll just keep going. So, yeah, it stops here. And I don't know why it stops. This is supposed to be a no lurker channel anyways. That's the nice thing about the internet. Alright. Well, I'll see you where it splits off. A man's stomach ripped open, the body of an unborn baby stuffed inside. Just imagining it made me want to vomit. Oh god, now we've seen it. This Shogun guy was just so shady. It was making me delusional when I didn't need to be. Well, you'll find out more later. At Act Cafe, shortly past 3 a.m., like most weekends, despite the late hour, you could hear the sound of the keyboard coming from several places in the cafe. In room 37, there was a young boy staring in his PC monitor, not moving an inch. He wasn't sitting in the booth's reclining chair though, he was in a wheelchair. I completely forgot about this. So in room 37, which is Nishijo's normal room, Shogun is here, which is, the thing that got Yua suspicious of Takumi, because it was coming from the computer that Takumi always used. Maybe it's stopping at parts where it's like, hey, do you notice this? Do you notice it? Oh, wait, he's in his account. Huh. Well, I don't know. Once again, see ya next split off. Never mind, it seems like it's here. Oh, wait. We're in Nightheart's account, and that voice was Shogun's instead of Takumi's. Ooh, I never noticed that. For the first time, the unmoving boy reacted. It shows that Shogun was like, oh shit, this dude I'm talking to right now, that's him. Oh crap. We saw that he was lurking here because before he was like, hey Shogun, you gonna say something in episode 1, but I guess now we're in the point of view of Shogun where he's like, oh god, this guy's a killer. His piercing eyes stared into the monitor from beneath his cap. He let out a soft whisper, too quiet for anyone else to hear. Oh, this is actually really cool. Okay, now that everyone's left the chat, except for Takumi, we can talk to him one-on-one. Once he saw that the person named Grin had left the chat, he began to act. His wrinkled hands moved towards the keyboard. The boy's goal was to make contact with Nightheart, to warn him, and to make him afraid. Well, you succeeded in doing that. His lips twisted slightly. To someone else, it might look like an expression of pain, but in fact, he was smiling. Nightheart had reacted to his message. It might not have seemed like that big of a deal, but to him, it was a miracle. This is actually really cool for, for someone who is... We're in Shogun's point of view for this interaction. Yeah, awesome. Suddenly, his hands froze. A strange, seemingly meaningless whisper, one that seemed to be directed towards Nightheart on the other side of the screen. He tapped a single formula into the computer, fingers dancing lightly across the keys. Oh, that's the fun formula. The IR2. Oh, wow. You know, I thought this would actually, like, skip a whole bunch of stuff, but it's neat that there's some new stuff. Oh, I remember this being really creepy from Takami's POV. He's sending him so many images, but, like, we never actually clicked a majority of them. We only clicked one, which was the one for the new gen killer, or for the crucified. And, well, we only saw, like, Takami running away from that. We didn't see any of the other ones. I wonder what the other images showed. I don't know if they'll ever show us, though. God damn, that's a lot of images. Nightheart stopped reacting. He guessed that the boy was looking at all the links he'd copy-pasted into the chat. It might not have been a pleasant experience for Nightheart, but there was reason he had to make sure they were seen. Oh, so were they all the same image? Huh. Oh, he was scared shitless, you have no idea. He talked to himself as he typed one last thing. There we go. Nail in the coffin. Bye-bye. Whose eyes are those? He left the chat room without waiting to see Nightheart's reaction. Then he took a small breath and tapped lightly on the wall of the little room. He heard the sound of someone standing up from the next room over. A door to his own room, room 37, opened from the outside. Ooh, is it gonna be Rimi? She's gonna help him out. A girl was standing there, unsmiling with a stern expression. She grabbed the handles at the back of his wheelchair. That is her! And then we're gonna see her at the scene of the crime. Huh. Oh, and then that'll be her first interaction with Takami. His voice was calm and natural, but the girl could sense that there's the slightest bit of tension in it. He's probably being watched. Huh. I guess like the Nozomi people did know about Nishijo Takami. I don't know if they knew about like the one we are familiar with, but at the very least they knew of someone named Nishijo Takami who had very strong gigalomaniac powers, so She said nothing more as she silently pushed his wheelchair towards the front of At Cafe. I wonder if we'll get into like more of the other mysteries and murders that have happened, like the group jumping. Alright. Well, most of these enemies were just haters though. You know, guys who were just jealous of Nightheart's strength and charisma. Well, this is really stopping at really random ass places. It wasn't a very old school. It had been built within the last 10 years. Well, I guess the rules were really there in name only. Nobody enforced them. By the time I arrived at the school gate, there were enough students around me that it was starting to get noisy. Like, why did that have to be... Like, what was that, either a new line, or why did that have to, you know, stop there? Wait, to be honest, I was really surprised to hear that from him. What? The new gen, okay. As I looked at the excitement on Misumi's face, I finally understood it. Okay. Oh, our first chance to make a choice, I believe. I hated to disappoint Misumi when he was so excited, but I had no intention of going. So can I... So I can... Oh! I can... Yeah, there we go. We can actually choose what kind of delusion we want. So it's a green one or a red one. So the first one, I'm actually not supposed to do anything. I'm just supposed to have no delusion. So we'll go with that. I opened my mouth to squeak out some excuse, but he wasn't listening.
そしたら犯人とばったり会っちゃったりしてな。犯人は犯行現場に戻ってくるってよく言うだろ。で、次はタクがターゲットにされるんだ。死をもって罪を償うみたいな。罪状はそうだな。引きこもってたからってことで。
Oh, well, ain't that a sin for Takumi? Alright, let's zoom.
僕は引きこもりじゃ。
I tried to protest, but I worried that he might hate me or try to bully me and just gulped down my words. I bit my lip and looked away from him. I found myself looking around the room when I saw something written on the blackboard. Oh, there we go. Whose eyes are those? So just fast saying it again. It's just coincidence. Oh, there's a choice here? No, it is not a coincidence. I don't remember. We didn't get a choice like that in the beginning. I'm hallucinating. No, I am not. Whoever did it is inside the school. Yes. They're taunting me. Haha, yes. I actually don't know who wrote that. I imagine it was probably... No, Rimi wasn't here yet, actually. But none of the other school people were really relevant. I want to erase it now. I'm supposed to say no here. I wonder if there's a log. Nope. No log of my choices. No. Alright. Well, that was... that was definitely different. Oh, it's time to witness the murder! Aha! Aha, look, it's her! Ah! Alright. See ya when we can make a choice. Oh, delusion time!
ほらしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意しといてよ。
So, here, I'm actually supposed to make a ZR delusion, which apparently is one of the red ones. I don't know what red and green is, but we'll see.
知らんがな。
しょうがないな。じゃあ、コーラもらうね。
Fine, take a soda. As usual, she seemed to have no intention of asking her for her brother's permission. She grabbed a bottle of soda, one that I already drank from, out of the fridge. She hesitated for a moment before swallowing it down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. What kind of delusion are you gonna have? Who the hell did Nanami think she was anyway? I hope you get sick from drinking too much soda and end up in the hospital. Then I won't have to worry about anybody interrupting my peaceful life. I wish that would really happen. Oh, is she gonna get sick now? Oh! Oh, that's the delusion stuff. Oh, crap. Oh. Okay, so our first major choice resulted in sending our sister to the hospital. Good job, Takumi. You are such a role model. Come on, Nanami was one of the few people that actually did, like, nothing wrong. Suddenly, Nanami started to moan. The plastic bottle slipped out of her hands, spilling soda on the floor. It splattered on the CDs and manga magazines lying there. I was about to tell her not to mess up my room, but then I gasped. She was holding her neck in pain, and her eyes had flared wide open. Her mouth was gaping open and closed, just like a fish.
Nanami.
Oh, if only I had a phone to call 911. She spat out blood. It was red. Dark red, almost black. It landed on the Coca-Cola on the floor, mixing in with it. Ew. Oh, Jesus. This is what you did, Takumi. This is what you did. Then she collapsed to the ground, right on top of the mess. Her whole body began to spasm in pain. Her hands were ripping into her neck as if she was trying to dig her nails into the skin. What the fuck? She flailed her legs as she rolled around the floor, oblivious to the fact that I could see her panties. This wasn't a nice thing to think about at all, but she seemed to me like a fish on a cutting board. Well, we'll be cutting a part of her. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know what to do at all, so I just covered my ears. But I still could hear my little sister's dying screams. Do something! Eventually, she stopped moving, her face covered in drool and blood and tears.
ななみ
I called out her name, afraid, but there was no answer. She was lying on the floor in a terrible state. I could smell something like ammonia. Was it Nanami who pissed herself, or was it me? I slowly moved my hand forward to poke her shoulder. She didn't move at all. The very thought of doing it creeped me out, but I moved my head close to her mouth. She wasn't breathing. She was dead. Nanami was dead. It was a poisoning, like you see on TV. It was then that I understood. I put poison in the soda to kill Nanami. That had to be it.
なぜ殺した
What?
うえ
I knew it was my own delusion, but it still creeps me out. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, at least this time it was just a delusion. This one went way too far. Nanami might have been annoying, but I didn't need to have her die in such a realistic way. I could have at least settled for giving her the full boku.
どうしたの？
Okay, Nanami's alive. Alright. Huh. I guess being able to see those delusions will determine Takami's mindset afterwards, because overall it didn't have any repercussions in this, in this case, but it might in the future. Nanami finished drinking her soda and looked at me in confusion.
なんか顔色悪いけど。
I saw something disgusting. You don't want to know. I shook my head slightly.
ごめん
何が？
とにかくごめん
Yeah, nothing at all. I'm sorry for doing weird things to you, even if it was just in my delusions. I'm really sorry. But it just goes to show how much frustration towards you is building up inside me. I want you to understand that.
別に謝らなくてもいいのに。ミルクティーがないくらいでナナ怒んないよ。それになんだかんだ言ってコーラも好きだし。
Wait, she drank my whole bottle of soda? I take it back. There was no need to apologize to Nanami. She should commit seppuku and die.
もう帰れよ
I mean, this part's kind of the same. There we go. I keep forgetting. After making a delusion choice, I have to click the what was it? The R button to make it continue. Alright, see ya next choice. Oh, that's here. Hi, Yua, being very creepy. So here I'm not supposed to do anything. I took a step back in shock. Okay, I can actually skip that. Alright. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. It was like I was paralyzed. Suddenly, her lips moved. She was trying to say something. But the noise from the crowd was so loud I couldn't hear it. I strained my eyes to see what she was saying. Who? Eyes are those? My hair stood on end. Impossible. I was imagining things. I didn't know how to read lips. There's no way that was right. I shook my head and forced myself to look away. It was clear that she'd said something, at least. No matter what it was doing that to a guy that she'd never met was creepy as hell. I need to stay away from her. Alright. Okay, now Yua's in her room. Wasn't really paying attention. But apparently I'm supposed to do a ZR, so red delusion time. Oh no, that moe pose was enough to almost make me pass out. Was Yua's moe type quiet older girl? But she was trying to seduce me. She was dangerous. She was definitely up to something.
それで西条くんにお願いがあるんです。
A request? Don't tell me. Uh-oh. Time to delusion time.
私、
Uh-oh.
なたのことが好きなんです。ずっと西条くんのことを見てました。もう見てるだけじゃ嫌なんです。
Oh, sure. Oh, we have other CG instead of someone dying this time. Neat! Her face was now bright red. For some reason, as she talked, she started to rummage through her bag. She seemed to be looking for something.
あなたの全部を私のものにしたいんです。それでいろいろ考えて、一番素敵な方法を思いついたんです。
Okay, I didn't see that coming, man. I didn't see that coming at all. Oh, he's gonna get shanked. You know, maybe it's deserved. I don't know. Ooh, okay. And then she took out a brand new kitchen knife. It glistened in the light of the desk lamp. All I could do was stare at it in shock. My brain couldn't keep up with everything that was happening.
私、あなたが好きだから。
Uh-oh.
好きすぎて、もう耐えられないから。
I need to leave. But where do I go? Her hand gripped the knife. She must have been gripping it with terribly hard because her fingers had turned white. She pointed the blade straight at me. I started to shake my head no. She'd know I didn't think this was a good idea, but there was no making her listen now.
あなたの肉とか、
Your flesh.
骨とか、
Your bones.
皮膚とか、
Your skin.
内臓とか、
Your organs.
脳とか、
Your brains.
目玉とか、
Your
も
eyeballs.
ちろん、
And of
あな
course,
たの一番恥ずかしいところ、
your dick.
全部、私が食べてあ
Oh,
げますね。
jeez. Oh my god. Okay, that scared me a little bit. She laughed an insane laugh as she leapt at me. I don't know what to say. There was a dull impact, a sense of pressure. I looked down at my chest. The blade of the knife was embedded deep within me. She let out a sweet sigh right next to my ears. The knife dug through my flesh and bones. But I didn't feel any pain. Of course I didn't, because this was a delusion. Scary. Yanderes are scary. My own delusion was scaring the shit out of me. Okay, it scared it out of me too. We all know what a yandere is if you're watching this game. You already know enough anime stuff. A heroine whose deep love for a person drives them to act in an insane manner, often out of jealousy. Kya! As I stood there shaking, Yua suddenly fell backwards and landed on her butt. She was rubbing her behind, looking a little teary-eyed. Alright. Okay, so this is the last choice that we have to make for Chapter 1. We do nothing, so we actually don't make a choice. But this is when Takumi notices the Garo Froggies and her notebooks. And I think if he knocks them over, we'll find out that she was actually pretty much, you know, stalking and spying him for more nefarious purposes other than a relationship. Wait a second. And there we go, I waited a second. The rest should be the same. Alright. See you in Chapter 2, probably. We are in Chapter 2, alright. That was a lot faster than I thought. It took like 20 minutes to get through Chapter 1. Oh! Hi, Dr. Takashina, and your murderer behind you. Well, anyways. Oh, there's a Nozomi person in the background. But for this one, I'm supposed to do none, so we'll skip through this. And, actually, for the next few, it seems like we're gonna have to do none. So, I'll get to the next choice, where we end up doing nothing, and then I'll keep going. Oh, well, speak of the devil. It's right here. We also do nothing here. Alright, let's just skip it. Okay, now it's a medical record diagnosis. Like before, we do nothing, so let's just go all the way down. Do I have any mental illnesses? No, haha. Absolutely none. That being said, I wonder if that report actually changes. Because last time I filled it out based on what I think Takumi would have done. But I don't know. Alright, we are blazing through Ayase's concert, and now we can make another choice. I kind of forgot, but here, we are actually supposed to click ZL. So, green one this time. She looked right at me. I didn't mean our eyes met for a moment, or that she was looking in my direction. She was clearly looking straight at me. Staring as if trying to see all that she could, as if trying to see who I was, as if trying to see into my heart. Her gaze was so powerful, and for some reason, kind of sad. What's that gonna lead into? It's green. Without taking her eyes off me, she walked right off the stage. The members of Phantasm began to play again, but she wasn't singing. As she slowly worked her way through the crowd, she threw off her jacket in a languid motion, exposing her sexy shoulders. The fans began to get excited again. They raised their fists and jumped up into the air. The vibrations were shaking the floor like an earthquake. But nobody tried to touch her. She seemed almost sacred to them. You think someone with her charisma came down into the audience, people would be jumping all over her. But some kind of unspoken understanding kept her believers from touching her. Even so, feeling her so close, smelling the scent of her sweat, touching the same air as her, those were the greatest joys of her followers could ask for. Maybe this was some kind of performance she did at every concert, I thought, but then I was shocked at what she did next. She began to casually take off her belt. She tossed it into the crowd, and all of her followers scrambled to get it for themselves. Fez gave them a contemptuous glance, and then... Oh! She lowered the zipper in her miniskirt. It fell to the ground. Huh. Okay. Revealing a sexy black underwear. Fez didn't seem to mind exposing herself to all her followers at all. Maybe she was high on the excitement, or maybe it was part of the performance, or maybe she was just an exhibitionist. I didn't know, but she was so sexy I couldn't take my eyes off her. Okay. She kinda looked like she has dead eyes. Fez looks back at me. She gave me a seductive smile.
Oi, こっち来るぞ.
I mean, wouldn't you like that, Misumi? Her gaze was locked to me. She got closer and closer, as if homing in on a target. And when she got right in front of me... Oh, is she gonna kill us? It seems like a lot of the interactions we have are like bad ends. She exhaled, her breath soft and sweet, like a lover. I'm gonna stab you, and embraced me. With the sword. Her skin was slick with sweat, and the smell and the warmth made me dizzy. She pressed her chest against me. It heaved up and down rapidly with each breath. They say that singing takes a lot of energy, but I could feel her hot, panting breath directly through my skin. Her arm was wrapped tightly around my back. Her nails dug into my neck. Her thighs clung to my legs. My body felt like it had been hit by lightning. I couldn't push her off, and even return her embrace. All I could do was stand there, blinking in confusion. Her followers started to cheer once again. It was almost like a scream. The band's performance became louder and more violent. The cries, "Fez! Fez!" filled the hall. And then they started to mix the cries of, "Do it! Do it!" Do what? I didn't understand. Fez was silently holding on to me. I looked over at Misumi for help. He was exchanging a deep kiss with a female audience member. No, it wasn't just Misumi. The other followers, male and female, all cast off their clothes and were embracing each other. Some were kissing, and some were even starting to have sex. It quickly turned into a loud, screaming orgy. There were moans, cheers, and indecent sounds of flesh rubbing flesh, all of it accompanied by the playing of the Phantasm Band. A black mass. I finally understood. Fez was a witch, and this was her obscene Sabbath. And I'd been chosen to be the night sacrifice. I would be Fez's partner. Did this happen at every Phantasm concert? I started to get caught up into it too. It was like a thin veil of fog was covering my mind. A sense of fear and anticipation of what was to come. A sense of ecstasy and superiority at being chosen as her partner. I thought I would go crazy. Okay. She laughed again, right up against my ear. Even amid the flood of sounds, I could still hear it clearly. It was such a sexy sound. Just hearing it felt enough to make me pass out. But Fez was inviting me to experience an even greater pleasure. She softly bit my ear and then blew a hot breath into it. And then, she whispered,
その目、誰の目?
"Run away!" Alright, I think that's the end.
フェスエロいよ、フェス。
Nope, that's just more delusions. Okay. I'll sit in front of my computer enjoying my delusions. The concert I'd gone to today was a good change of pace. Fez was pretty cute for a 3D girl. Having so many people around triggered my agoraphobia hard, though I definitely wasn't going to go back. In the end, I got sick from being around the crowd and fled the concert hall. Agoraphobia, that is, fear of open spaces or crowds. Hikikomori, blah blah blah, suffer from this disorder. And exam results. Ooh, okay, I wonder how different this will be. Your delusion level is, to be blunt, 0. Your personality may be, if anything, a little too realistic, but your real life is a fulfilling one, with lots of friends and a big social circle. You've had many romantic partners and your work or schooling is going extremely well. You've never needed to have delusions about anything. Why a person like you would decide to play a game like this is a mystery. Please, continue to live a happy, optimistic life in the 3D world. Many fun things are waiting for you there. Oh, Misumi's comment. Okay. If you see somebody lost in their own delusions with a dorky grin on their face, make sure you don't call them a creep. Be nice to them, actually, and then all the girls will think you're a nice guy. Wow, was that... I know he was kind of deluded into being friends with us, but the reason why is because he want to compare himself to Takumi, and then just, you know, feel good about it because he's a nice guy. Huh. Okay, Misumi. I see. Today's delusion was a good one. Maybe Fez and Phantasm really were doing that stuff at their concerts. And maybe today they just didn't for some reason. Anyway, time for some ESO. Alright, this is probably where it's going to skip. Oh wow, that delusion came really quick. So this time I have to do another ZL, so... Pop! Oh shoot! Oh crap! I clicked the wrong button. Well, I'll be back here. I think I have to do it all over again. Crap! Okay, so if you redo the stuff, it actually does like count it as you reading through it. Okay, that's neat. That's neat. Because I wasn't sure if, because I didn't save it, if it would count. Here, ZL, not just L. Alright, there we go. Oh, okay. He's talking about Nightheart. I think there was no response originally. Okay, so here, yeah, he's... Nightheart, I'm always watching you, you know. Did you ever notice? And then... Oh god, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna turn around? Nightheart, let's go to the 2D world. I hadn't typed anything into the keyboard, but Nightheart was talking. I thought I was hallucinating and rubbed my eyes, but the text remained on the chat window. The 2D world? You can be a hero too. Let's fight side by side. You're not interested in anything 3D, right? I mean, you're 3D. Your 3D model sucks. If Nightheart was talking to me, the person inside him, the player, did that mean he had a will of his own? Touch your monitor, and then you can come to base, Lord, as Takumi Nishijo. The password is... Whose eyes are those? Daga kotoaru. Ah, I recognize those lines. Good reference. He's got a point. I answered, and then powered off my computer. Zoop. So that should be the last choice of chapter 3, actually. So, chapter 2. So, I'll see you in chapter 3. In chapter 3, Shogun. Okay, right now we are being attacked by Senna for the first time. So here, we are actually supposed to do ZR, so the red one. And then she really swung it. Man, Takumi's gonna get killed again! I crouched to the ground with my head in my hands. If I hadn't dodged, it would have hit me right in the head. It probably wouldn't have actually cut me, but with that speed, it could have given me a concussion or caved in my skull. Please don't hurt me! I was so freaked out that I could barely speak. Is he going to effing die? Oh, it's still a CG. Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Yeah?
Hi?
Did she just ask if I could see her? By her, she meant herself, right? Girl B, the one standing in front of me. Suddenly, her face took on a look of sadness, and then she knelt down before me. She was now at my eye level, and her gaze seemed like it was pleading with me. Oh. Suddenly, she turned into Bunny Girl Senpai. She's just looking for someone.
わからなくて、もう何年も何十年もこの場所をさまよっていたような気がする。
Oh, never mind. It's not Bunny Girl Senpai. She's a ghost. Was she a ghost? Impossible. I didn't have any kind of sixth sense.
ずっと探してた。私を見つけてくれる人を。ありがとう。ありがとう。お礼に。
I will allow you to join me. Oh shit.
お前に取り付いてやる。
I'm gonna haunt you forever. Oh, that's the hand of the bathroom dude. Or maybe it's a jelly man from Steins Gate.
答えろ。
Answer
見
me.
えるんだな。ディソードが。え？
I came back to my senses and looked back up at the girl of face B. I mean, the face of girl B. Whoops. She wasn't crying. Her legs weren't transparent. Her hands were normal hands. Ah, just a delusion. But a D-sword? What was that? I never heard that word before. It was clear that she was referring to the strange sword-like object in her hand. But why did she want to know if I could see it? Alright. See ya next choice. Alright. So, I think this is when Misumi is trying to talk to Ayase, and I don't really know what is happening. So here we're not supposed to do anything, so we'll just skip past it. Alright, this was after talking to Bon and Sua. Right now, we're making a choice based off of the whose eyes are those, and we're supposed to click ZL. So, green delusion, here we go. Darn it, not now. When did I first start feeling that gaze? I totally forgotten it by now. But it kept getting in my way. A lot of things were happening that would interrupt my daily life, but the gaze was right up there with Nanami for being obnoxious. Okay, time to play the game again. Time to play I'm not turning around that easily game. Oh, I've been waiting for the moment where he turns around, and then we see something, so that'd be pretty cool. I kept my eyes locked onto my computer monitor and tried to think of a cool line.
貴様、出てこい。僕の目をごまかせるとでも思ったか。甘いな。
If he turns around and there's something there, I wonder what it would be. The first thing that comes to mind is Seraton, but that's just stupid. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh.
バレちゃった。
当たり前だ。僕の後ろに立つなと何度言えば。
Holy crap. Huh? Did I just hear a girl's voice? I froze. Had the owner of the gaze finally shown themselves? Was that possible? Should I turn around and see who she was? But what if she attacked me as soon as I did? She sounded pretty cute, but what if she was just a terrible monster? No, if she was a monster, she might be getting ready to attack me right now. If I didn't turn around, I could die before I even realized what was happening. Should I try saying something else to see if she answered? It could have just been a delusion, or maybe I'd just been hearing things. You know, like how I always hear my Seraton figure talking to me. Like that. I tried to say, "Who the hell are you?" but I cut myself off. It wouldn't be smart to say anything that set them off, right? I might provoke them into attacking me. I was seeing so many awful things in my delusions that I couldn't move. What should I do? Maybe I was just being an idiot. If there was nobody there, and I was just sitting in my chair, scared to death of my own delusions, I'd look like the world's biggest moron. No, you wouldn't, because people wouldn't see you. Haha. Oh, that's Rimi, okay. But it wasn't a delusion. I wasn't hearing things. There was somebody behind me. Shocked, I turned around. Wait. Yeah, at this point, he hasn't met Rimi yet. Domo domo. It was a demon girl. It was a girl I'd seen during the Crucified. She was right there, sitting on my sofa. For some reason, she was grinning as she looked at me. Oh no, oh no, oh no. She was here to kill me at last. It was because I talked to those cops. She used her clairvoyant powers to see me doing it remotely. And now she snuck into my room without making a sound, so she could watch over me cry and scream and beg for mercy and then kill me. I knew it! Don't kill me! I tried to scream, but I was too scared to get those words out.
コケコッコ
She stared at me, tilting her head, and recited a strange spell. She must be speaking in a demon language. She was going to curse me. I tried to hide under my desk to put as much distance between us as I could, but I was panicking so much that I hit my head on the edge instead. No! I crumpled onto the ground in pain. That's so painful.
何やってるのタク。
So, like, this is kind of weird. How does he know that she would call him Taku? Oh.
今すっごい音したよ。コツンって。
Gotsute. She still had a happy smile on her face. But it was just a trap to get me to drop my guard. I was sure of it. The second I let my guard down, she would come for me. Or maybe that spell a second ago had already cursed me. You know, he wasn't wrong in saying that she was the one who killed him. Just saying. In a few days, my body would start spurting blood from all its pores and then I'd die.
頼むよ。殺さないで。
I mean, I just want to say, you probably noticed because, well, it's like 40 minutes into the video, but I have like a stuffy nose, and saying some of these words are hard, but I'm trying my best. I curled up into a little ball on the floor, cursing the detectives that I met earlier.
警察に喋ったこと謝るから。
警察？
それに話してもちっとも信じてもらえてなかったし。
That was just a lie I told to buy time. The detectives had said that they'd protect me. If that older guy was doing his job right, he'd surely send an officer to protect me. Then I realized. I told the officer my phone number, but I hadn't given him my address.
石？
Okay, so this is like... So if this is just Takemi's a delusion, how did he nail her personality to a T? He's met her once and she was just, you know, evil psycho killer person. So this might actually be real. She suddenly struck a pose like she was at attention. And then, even more strange, she made a sound effect with her hand snapping it to attention with her mouth. Was this another demon spell?
独り言はやめるべし。殺さないでとか警察がどうとか私には何のことかさっぱりだよ。
She didn't know? Was this some kind of joke? Or was this her way of telling me to forget that anything had ever happened? What was this girl thinking? Hadn't she come here to kill me?
ほら立てる？立とう。
She got up from the sofa and offered me a hand. It was Nanami's hand. I'm just kidding. Her expression looked so kind, and up close, I could tell that she was pretty cute. Wait, what had gotten into me? She was a demon. She wasn't pretty cute. She was a murderer. She used UN Shogun to try and set me up, and now she was here to kill me herself. I couldn't let myself believe her. I'd learned my lesson with Yua. I'd never make the same mistake again. I didn't take the hand she offered me. I couldn't let her smile fool me. It was a demonic temptation, and if I gave into it, I'd die. I don't believe in anything. Don't listen to anything anyone says.
見たんだ。お前が人を殺してるとこ。
あのさタク、それかなりひどいこと言ってるって。
So this is actually extremely similar to when they first met up. I forgot. Was it here? Was it here actually? It might have been. I forgot when Remy first showed up. It took a very long time, but we are in chapter 3 now. And this was pretty much identical to their first meeting.
まさか殺人犯呼ばわりされるなんてね。ははは。
Da ha ha ha. What was she doing here?
ニュージェネの
Like the other 4 times.
殺すんでしょ。それとも岩とか将軍とかがいる場所に連れてって。
ユア？将軍？誰それ？
Maybe there was 3 of them were going to work together and kill me when I was helpless.
そんなのやだ。助けて。
If she was gonna kill you, she would have done it now, or maybe at the end of the game.
私を殺人犯扱いしなければ助けてあげる。
I knew it!
そんなビビらないでよ。いちいち私がへこむようなリアクションしてくれるよね。
お願いだ。もう二度と誰にも喋らないから。だから見逃して。
もしもーし。タク、ちょっと落ち着こう。
She kept calling me Taku like we were friends. How does she know my name anyway? She know my name when we first met at the scene of crime, at the scene of the crucified. How? And how does she know where the base was?
当然でしょ。あなたの名前を知ってるのは。
She read my mind. She had a magic clairvoyant powers. I knew it. That's how she found my name and address.
タクって結構独り言多いよね。前から思ってたことだけど。
Always? Since when was always? Wait, was I talking to myself? I couldn't tell. Really? Was I really talking to myself? Or was it possible that she was lying? Was it possible she read my mind?
タクの名前を知らないわけないよ。私、物覚えはそんなに良くない方だけど、友達の名前くらい覚えるよ。
Well, you're a liar. I didn't know you until this month. Until just now, actually. Friend?
それともタク、私のことバカにしてる？
And we're really doing all this
そりゃ
again.
私テストの点数はそんなに良くないけど。
I'm just saying, you can see the skip button. It's not skipping any of it because it's all apparently new.
面と向かってそういうこと言われると。
It hurts. Was she crazy? Wait, how could I be so sure that she was a crazy one? Was I crazy? Or was she?
もしかして転校生。
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I really have a fun time voicing Crazy Takumi. It's a good time.
そういえば近いうちに転校生が来るらしいよ。スカチン先生が言ってた。
We were talking past each other. The fear that I could be killed at any moment was starting to fade. But instead, another type of fear was slowly working its way through my heart.
もしもし？その顔はまさかまだ信じてくれてない？
New phone, who dis?
誰だ？
Who are you? She was a demon girl, a murderer.
うわ、タクこそクラスメートの顔を覚えてないんだ。ひどー。
Hido? We're classmates? Not just friends, but classmates?
でもまあしょうがないか。タクはあんまり学校来ないもんね。だからって私の存在丸ごとなかったことにするのはどうかと思う。
I'm pretty sure this is like things we've seen before.
本当に忘れちゃった？そんなことないよね。知ってるでしょ？あなたは知ってるはず。
Not you. No. Oh. Oh, this is a new part. Me?
み
All that repetitive stuff was leading up to this moment.
そう、正解！賞金50円プレゼント。
Thank you. That's like 50 cents.
え
Though not in our current economy, but don't worry about it. Huh?
私、崎畑りみです。なんだ、やっぱり覚えててくれたんだね。よかったよかった。
Good. Why? Was it true? Was the demon girl's name really Rimi? Why had that name just come to me all of a sudden? Why the hell did I know who she was? Had I just forgotten and we were really classmates or friends or something? No, that was impossible. I never even heard the name Rimi Sakihata. It had to be a fake name. I said Rimi and she just played along with it. This was all just a part of her game. The only 3D girl I knew who would talk to me like this was Yua anyway. And Yua worked for her. In the flash, I suddenly understood. This Sakihata girl was using the same trick Yua had used. She was being all friendly, knowing that I wasn't used to talking to 3D girls. Then she set me up to fall into a trap. Of course, I didn't remember the face of all my classmates, and I wasn't interested in trying, but I was sure I'd never seen her in my class. Wasn't I? No, I couldn't be sure. Every minute I spent at school, I spent at my desk either enjoying delusions while pretending to sleep, or staring at the desk, or pretending to read a book. I didn't remember any of my classmates' names. I never cared enough. Which was it? Was what this girl saying really true? No, it didn't matter whether or not she was a classmate. The one thing I was sure of was that she was a murderer.
も もしかして本気で思い出せないの？さっき頭打ったせいで記憶喪失になっちゃった？
Oh, it was a pretty big hit. I was too scared of you. I was running away. The demon girl reached out a hand towards my head. I ran under the desk again to dodge it.
タク、変だよ。じゃあ、大地に聞いてみて。そしたら、タクも思い出せるかも。
Daichin? What the hell was that? A person's name? Some kind of code? A demon spell?
大地だよ、大地。三角大輔。
She knew Misumi's name, and she called him Daichin? You wouldn't do that unless you were pretty friendly with him.
ちょっと待ってね。
She went over to the bag next to the sofa. It wasn't the one I'd owned. She took out her phone.
大地はと。よし、オッケー。はい。
She tapped it a few times and handed it to me. When I didn't take it, she chuckled and grabbed my hand.
ほら、固まってないで。
She forced the phone into my hand. The demon girl's hand was soft and a little cold. I was expecting it to be as cold as ice, but it wasn't. I guess even murderers have warm blood running through their veins. Actually, it was more of a girly hand than I expected, so my heart started to race a little. No, I couldn't let her fool me. She was a demon. I couldn't let her tempt me. I wasn't into 3D girls. Seraton, give me power!
タク、携帯使ったことないの？電話機は耳に当てるんだよ。
She was so close to me, staring. She took my hand and brought it up to my ear. I looked at the phone's LCD screen. The phone said Daichin on it, and it showed that it was already calling him. I put the phone up to my ear. I could hear the sound of the ringing, but then the sound cut off, and what I heard was... Oh, that's different. Oh, that's how he starts a conversation. What was he? Was he talking to me or the demon girl? Why had he said that? Whoever I was talking to, they went silent. They didn't give me a name. They must have been outside somewhere downtown because I could hear the hustle and bustle of the crowd around them. I was confused. I couldn't speak. I didn't know what to say. Misumi, if it was really him, quickly resumed speaking as he usually did. Rimi Sakihata. Misumi knew her? No, that wouldn't be surprising. Misumi was a natural-born lady killer. I wouldn't be surprised if he dated her before, or even if he was dating her right now. The question remained, was a demon girl my classmate?
タク、大地出た？
She was staring at me again. Damn it! Why did she have to be so close to me? I turned my back to her and spoke into the phone.
僕、西条。
なんだ、タクか。リミと一緒にいるのか？
Why didn't he find it surprising at all? It almost sounded like he expected us to be together.
またリミに振り回されてるのか？大変だな、お前も。でもよ、一つだけ言っていいか？お前、そろそろ自分の携帯変えよ。
Was the person on the end of this line really Misumi? Was it possible that she was just having me call somebody with a voice similar to his to fool me? The person with Misumi's like voice was working for her, maybe, and trying to trick me. I was starting to get suspicious of everything. I didn't know what was the truth and what was a lie. I was assuming the demon girl was willing to put in the time and effort to set up a trap like that. What kind of trap was it, specifically? Wouldn't it be faster for her just to kill me here? Or was there some reason that I had to be deceived, even if it meant doing so in a really roundabout way? Wait, could it be some kind of trick Misumi was setting up? This girl was his girlfriend, not a classmate at all, but he sent someone just to make fun of me. No, wait, not a chance! How did he explain the crucified murder then?
で、タク、なんか用か？俺としては、野郎からの電話なんてあんま嬉しくねえんだけどな。
Filthy mails. It certainly sounded like Misubi. The more I heard him talk, the less likely it seemed that the person I was talking to could be anyone but Misubi. I wasn't sure where to start. I could feel someone looking at me from behind. The girl was staring at me. And the prickling on my back and the neck was still there. What kind of face was she making? I wanted to look back and see, but I was too scared.
U うちのクラスいる女子
Eh?
先畑って名前の
I was stammering real bad, but I finally managed to explain it to him. He suddenly fell silent. There's no answer, but I could still hear the bustling of the crowd, so he hadn't hung up. Why wasn't he answering? I heard a massive sigh. Wait, what was he talking about? And anyway, it wasn't true that video games damage your brain. Yeah, he's right. I'm not stupid enough.
本当本当にクラスメイト
Listen.
たまにしか学校来ねえから忘れちまったか。俺はともかくお前は1年の時から同じクラスだろ。この前だって3人で一緒に映画見に行ったじゃねえか。
I couldn't understand what this Misumi-like person was saying. The demon girl and I had been in the same class the whole time. The three of us went to see a movie the other day. When was the other day? Is this skip button working? I swear I've seen this before. Not a single one of the words coming through the phone felt real. How could they? None of the things he was describing existed in my memories. I couldn't accept that they never ever happened. What this Misumi-like person was telling me wasn't true. It wasn't real. If something really happened, you remembered it. Sorry, I got you on speaker. Wait, I feel like I made that joke before.
君は誰だ
Oi. I couldn't take it anymore, so I hung up the phone. Okay, that, I think it's probably going to be the same. We're going to zoom from here. Never mind. I suddenly realized that I was having trouble breathing. The sweat coming off my brow showed no sign of stopping. If anything, it was getting worse. I could feel it dripping off me and landing on the ground below.
たく、汗びっしょりだよ。
The demon girl looked genuinely worried as she handed me a handkerchief. It was a cute red one with no pattern on it. The handkerchief had a slightly floral scent. Oh! She gave the handkerchief here instead of when he was like throwing up? I guess it was different. No, never mind. He didn't take it. Instead, I tried to get straight in my head what was going on. It didn't work though. I just started getting suspicious of everything.
で、大臣はなんて
She gave a slightly disappointed sigh as she put away the handkerchief, and then she took on a victor's smile. It was as if she'd known the answer from the start. I didn't have the strength to answer her. Who was this woman? Just my classmate or a monster? I didn't know. Maybe I was just crazy. Thinking back to my chat with Shogun, I couldn't be sure that someone else wasn't controlling my body. Or maybe there was some kind of accident that took my memories of this Rimi Sakihata away from me and left my other memories intact. What the hell was wrong with me? Amnesia? Sleepwalking? Something else?
大丈夫
No!
体辛いならソファーで横になる
The demon girl spoke kind words to me. I need to be especially careful around anyone who said kind words to me. Anybody who'd be nice to a creepy otaku like me definitely had some kind of ulterior motive. I shook my head no and then forced myself to look up. The sweat got in my eyes and made my vision blurry. Her face was closer than I thought it would be. What colors were her eyes?
なんで
何何
Nani
ここ
nani?
にいる
なんでってタクに会いに来たんだよもしかして勝手に部屋に入ったこと怒ってるでもそれはタクがちっとも返事してくれないから悪いんだよ結構長い時間ノックしてたんだから
So the purpose of this illusion, I was wondering this entire time because, you know, none of this is really skipping, even though we're treading over a lot of familiar ground. I feel like the purpose of this delusion is just to make Takumi even more suspicious of Rimi. Not sure. Because in the other one, he ended up giving up and, like, believing in Rimi. But now he's losing it, man. I handed back the phone. As I watched her take it, I asked again.
なんで
今度は何
ここにいる
Why has she visited me? If she came here to kill me, why wasn't she doing anything? Oh, there we go. Oh boy, that was a long one. Okay, Kozui joins the party and we're getting a new delusion. Sure enough, there was a girl there. Okay, for this one we had to click ZR, so we had to go red. I remember when he met her for the first time, we saw that she had a D-sword. Okay, sure enough, there was a girl there. She was really tiny. She might have been smaller than Nanami. She looked like kind of weak and timid, in a moe sort of way. She was pretty cute for a 3D girl, maybe. For some reason, there were tears in her eyes and she was looking down. What kind of crazy bullshit are we gonna see this time? I kind of forgot what red and green delusions mean. Let's see. So the green one is a positive delusion trigger, and the red one is a negative delusion trigger. So this is gonna be negative, and she's gonna kill us all. That wimpy-looking transfer student didn't matter at all. What mattered was Rimi. I had to do something about her. I heard a voice coming from the back of the class. Rimi, she started talking.
梢ちゃん転校してきたの
Oh. By having Rimi say that, she's gonna think that Kozue is part of the Shogun Rimi Yua group. Kozue? What the hell was Kozue? Who was Rimi talking to?
なんだ崎畑、折原とは知り合いなのか？
はいそうです
Rimi was talking to the teacher. I was getting even more confused. I couldn't even think straight. Oh, she speaks! The transfer student laughed innocently.
リミさんを追いかけて
She actually speaks!
私も来ちゃったのそうなのやることが大胆だな
Oh man, this is gonna drive him crazy. What? Was Rimi talking to the transfer student? Did they know each other? Was this transfer student a servant of the demon girl too? I froze, unable to do anything but listen to their conversation.
リミさんよろしくねこちらこそ
Oh.
これから楽しくなりそうだね
Oh.
すごく楽しくなる
Oh man, just look at her face. We've never seen her like that. We knew that she had a side of her that was like just completely heartless, but man, this feels really weird on Kozupi's face.
だよね楽しみ楽しみねえそう思わない思うよね西条匠
ああ、どうやら折原は緊張しているようだな。よし、挨拶はいい。
She's not the only one nervous. So was Takumi after seeing that shit. The teacher's voice brought me back to my senses. I was so relieved to find out that this was just a delusion. The transfer student was still standing there timidly, not saying a word.
みんな、この子は折原梢だ。仲良くしてやってくれ。
But that also meant that he figured out her name before he even knew her name.
折原、席は一番後ろだ。席についていいぞ。
The transfer student bowed silently and started walking towards me. Her seat would be 4 rows behind me. I thought about pretending to follow her with my eyes as she walked, so I could look back and see who was there. But if I did, I'd stand out a lot. Some DQNs might see me and say, "Don't stare at the transfer student just because she's cute," and then they try to beat me up. What should I do? Turn around or wait until homeroom ended? My head drooped as I squeezed my fists tightly. It was no good. I didn't have the courage. I turned around and saw her. Oh, if I turned around and saw her. Huh?
悪い人なの？だったらね、本当に殺してあげてもいいよ。
Oh god. Oh gosh, she's already in his head. I do remember he got a message from her and he was like, "What?" But now she's sending out real bad vibes. Maybe she read the delusion and she was like, "Oh, Jesus, what did I just see?" The transfer student passed by me. I gasped and looked up at her. Our eyes met, but she quickly turned away and passed by me. That voice. It was a delusion, right? Maybe I was under so much stress, and I was really starting to lose sight of the distinction between delusions and reality. In the end, I stayed there trembling in my seat, lacking the courage to look around. I focused on trying to calm my fear of Remy, while Sure was watching me. Alright. Well, Takumi is just gonna be Takumi. Oh, I just realized that some of these cuts will cut to the same spot just so that they can end a delusion there. So that I remember complaining on the last episode. It's like, wait, why did you even bother like cutting away from this spot if Genichi Narose was just gonna show up in the same exact spot? All right, another one. This is about getting calls. I think the one where he found the Torianse one. Here we're supposed to have a negative delusion. So let's go. There were only 5 calls there. In other words, only 5 times has someone called me since I brought my phone. 3 of them were from Nanami. What about the other 2? There was one from 5 days ago, and the one just now. Since her number wasn't in my contacts, it wasn't showing up as a name. They were both from the same number. 03X733X991. They left a message. It must have meant that they really want to talk to me. I'm gonna say that like every time. It couldn't hurt to listen to a message, right? Right?
楠木優愛です。
Oh shit.
ごめんなさい。突然お電話しちゃって。ただ、どうしてもお話ししたいことがあって。セイラちゃんの新しいフィギュア、私も買いました。
All is forgiven.
西条くんのおかげです。ありがとうございました。とっても可愛いんですけど、ちょっとエッチですね。買うときすごく恥ずかしかったです。
I'm sure they won't judge too harshly. In fact, you might be swarmed by fans of the show.
あ、そうそう。今週のブラチュー見ました？
Every second of it.
すごい展開でしたね。私見ながらずっとドキドキしちゃって。この多重人格者。
You schizophreniac.
あなたが殺したの。人殺し。真犯人。罪を償いなさい。
Wait, you killed her. Is she referring to her sister? Because at this point, Takumi wouldn't know about her sister. So it'd be weird that he would delude himself into knowing about that. Even though he did delude himself into knowing Orihara Kozue's name. If I recall, I don't think the other 2 victims were female, so killing her wouldn't make sense because the other 2 were, well, the 2 victims were the crucified and like the bathroom jelly dude, I think. Huh.
逃がさないから。その目、誰の目？
We might have a bad time. I knew it was just a delusion, and I still felt terrified. It was totally possible that Yua could have gotten my number from somewhere and called me. I didn't really want to listen to the message, but after using a delusion to simulate my worst possible scenario, I was ready to at least try listening to it. I shook off my depression and played the call. I looked around a bunch of times to make sure the demon girl wasn't anywhere nearby, and put the phone up to my ear. Alright, one last choice for this chapter. Alright, so this is the last choice. And this is when Takumi went out to just buy some food. I think this is where he ended up meeting Shogun. But yeah, so the choice we have to make here is nothing! Alright, see you in chapter 4. Chapter 4, D-Sword. My body froze. I don't actually know the content of this. I think this is when he's first interacted with Rimi at school. So, we'll see. My body froze. Okay, that was it. Why did it stop there? Did my body not freeze before? Come on! Okay, first delusion in chapter 4. So, actually, I'm just gonna say that now. According to the guide, the first 3 delusions that we had to do are just the same, so we're just gonna skip past them. I'll stop and tell you about when the choice can be made, but we're gonna continue through without really making too many choices. Ah, yes, we meet Senna again. Ooh, once again, no choice, so we'll just have to stare at Senna from here as she chains us up. Okay, we are now getting attacked by Yua in this booth. So I think this is where we end up running away from her and meeting Ayase. Once again, nothing here. So meet your next choice. Maybe I wasn't sleepwalking. Maybe the person controlling me, a me who wasn't me, a me who wasn't me, another personality who wasn't me. Oh! Okay, another choice. We're in the park. I could have sworn that. Oh yeah. Issei Hatano. You can see him in the bottom left. He's there. He's talking about humanity. The police. Oh, there we go. Bad delusion. The police. I gulped. Those 2 policemen had talked to me before, hadn't they? I hadn't heard anything from them. They said they sent somebody to watch the area around the base, but nothing came of it. Misumi had said they'd come to school, though. What were their names again? I couldn't remember. I told them exactly what I'd seen during the crucified incident, but looking back, something in their expressions had made it clear that they were pretty suspicious. Suddenly, the police officer standing by the homeless man looked over at me. At least, it felt like he did. No way. Terrible thoughts came to me. I stood up and looked around once more. The man on the bench with the phone was glancing at me, or so it seemed. Just now, a tough-looking man had come into the park and leaned up against a fragile-looking pipe fence, then spread out a paper to read. Here in a dark place, with almost no streetlights, the salaryman who had been walking so quickly through the park was now on the edge of the bridge, staring down at the street below. The officer who had been talking to the homeless people was now looking at me and speaking into his radio. A cold sweat began to drip down my back. Maybe they were all detectives. Maybe they were tailing me. If so, I was completely surrounded. Yua had decided that I was the killer. Was she taking her delusions to the police? Damn it! I whispered soft enough that nobody could hear me. Was this a part of Shogun's plot? I didn't do it. I didn't kill anybody. It wasn't me. How come a wimp like me was being chased by the police as a murderer? Why did I have to get caught up in Yua's megalomania? I had to get out of here. My heart was still beating fast and unsteadily, but I had to run. I walked over to the bridge, trying to look as natural as possible. In front of me was the bridge heading to Meiji Street. I go down it and then escape onto Meiji Street. When I got to the middle of the bridge, someone new appeared on the far side of it. It was a woman in a business suit. She had a phone up to her ear and she was walking up the stairs with a blank look on her face. It was her! She's also on it! She's a detective! Was she a detective too? My heart was racing as I passed by her.
その目誰の目
God damn it!
っていう T シャツが流行ってるわよ。今度の日曜日に買いに行くわ。原宿の竹下通りに売っているから。
Something felt wrong. The way she spoke was strange and awkward. It sounded like she was an actor putting on a performance. Who was she talking to on the phone? Was she talking to anybody at all? But in the end, she didn't do anything as I passed by. I made it safely to the stairs, and then I looked back at the park. The police officer wasn't following me. He was still standing in the same spot, saying something into his radio. One of the homeless people was just standing up. The others didn't move. The man on the bench and the man with the paper had both stood up and were walking towards me. They both gave each other a glance. They were signaling to each other, at least that's what it looked like. I looked at the woman again. We just passed each other, but now she turned to look towards me. When our eyes met, she seemed startled and looked away. Her phone was still at her ear. She wasn't talking. I ran down the stairs, overcome by an indescribable fear. As I headed down Meiji Street towards the station, I looked up at the bridge. The woman was leaning over the railing, pointing at me. The two men were running across the bridge. They were detectives after all! They were all with the police! Shit! It was Yu's fault, she set me up! Should I proclaim my innocence? But right now I was running from the police. And they were probably going to try and frame me anyway. They wouldn't believe a creepy otaku like me. I didn't have the time to think about what would happen next. For now, I just needed to get away from Yua and the police. That one desire was the only thing driving me. Okay. Here we meet with Ayase. And here we get to make our last choice of Chapter 4. Still panting for breath, I looked over at Fez and clicked the bad delusion button. This was the underground indie singer who was beloved by all the youth of Shibuya, the one they even called the Prophet. And here she was with a creepy otaku like me. It felt kind of weird. Beads of sweat had formed on her forehead, running in rivulets down her face. She was wiping them away with the back of her hand. I could see part of her bare chest inside her open jacket, peeking out above the camisole that she wore. It was heaving up and down with each breath she took. For all her languid demeanor, there was something about her body that felt so sexy and alive. It wasn't really moe, it was... sexy was probably the best word for it. Okay, let's see what this scene... Is she gonna take off her shirt again? That'll be really awkward. Fez was hot. Misumi was right when he said so before. You couldn't really tell when she wore her school uniform, but in this outfit, it was obvious. She was tall and her breasts were just the right size, and she had a curvy waist too. And then there were her legs, shown off beneath her miniskirt. They were long and well-toned. She looked like a model. Oh my god, I'm so tired of talking to me. A girl with proportions like hers might look great in a competitive swimsuit. No, wait a second. A school swimsuit might be better. Wait, I thought you said no to all the questions in the beginning, so... I don't know. The cool, cold Fez in a swimsuit. That would create the perfect gap between costume and persona. Wait, why was I thinking about this now?
追われてたわね。
Alright. Huh? Eugen. Alright. That was another crazy chick! It's so random when they stop and give you new lines to read. Find it and you'll be saved. And if I was going to save myself from them... Alright, I think we're in the clear. The sword was the one that Fez was waving around during her concert. There wasn't a single straight edge on the whole thing. Beautiful. I didn't expect that. Oh, so the swimsuit thing was the thing that determined how she would look like in her other self. Oh, I see. Fez was standing there, wearing a school swimsuit. She's like, wait, that wasn't supposed to happen. Fez was beside me, and Fez was in front of the stairs. There were two of the same person in the same place, and one was wearing a school swimsuit. What? Shocked, I looked back and forth from one to the other. Their face, their build, their hair, everything was the exact same. The only difference was their clothes and whether they were holding a sword or not. They weren't twins or anything like that. They didn't just look alike. They were exactly the same. I'd seen lots of girls in their swimsuit in H games, but this was totally different. Fez was standing in this filthy tunnel in a school swimsuit, even said Kishimoto in a marker on the chest. Totally Moe! It was such an incredible situation that my head was spinning. I knew I shouldn't look, but I kept glancing at it anyway. It took a lot of effort to look down so I couldn't see.
ごめん
I found myself apologizing. This was just what I had been imagining in my delusions a few minutes ago. Fez was wearing a school swimsuit.
君が望んだ妄想
Both of them spoke the same words at the same time. I gulped. My face was turning red with incredible speed. I had come up with an excuse. I had to come up with some kind of lie. If a 3D girl labeled you a pervert, you were finished. You could be banished from this society. No, wait. That was important, but more importantly, what the hell was going on here? Okay, that was kind of weird. Alright, see you in chapter 5.
なぜこの
Oh, wait.
という場所
Some new words.
若者たちをこんなにも引きつけると思う
New words from Swimsuit Fez. Fez began to talk about something completely different. Internally, I was relieved. I thought she'd just treat me like I was a pervert, but instead, she just ignored all that.
日本いいえ
Wonder what's the purpose of this?
世界に見てもこんな場所他になかなかないわ
I guess it's slowly showing how his delusions are having more power. Like before we had delusions, but it wasn't doing anything. But now, Takami's having delusions that are actually altering other people's delusions. So like, Fez or ISA is now also deleting herself to having a swimsuit version of her, a copy of herself. Maybe? Maybe. Did that have something to do with the D-Sword? If not, I didn't care. I needed Fez to tell me how to get a real D-Sword.
新宿でも池袋でもなくて渋谷この松の名前が一人歩きをしてしまうくらい
The two Fezes were speaking to me simultaneously, one in front of me and one in back. They were in perfect sync. Listening to them made me feel kind of strange. Maybe Fez had split, maybe one of them was real and the other one wasn't, or maybe both were fake.
日本中の人たちに刻まれている若者の街という疑問なぜかしら
Why? Well, I don't care.
ファッションの街だからお店がたくさんあるから流行の発信地だからよくテレビに映るから交通の便がいいから
Okay, I get the point.
違うわどれ
The two Fezes paused for a moment. I felt awkward with Fez watching me both in front and the back. It's because of GE right.
大いなる意志工事存在もっとわかりやすく言う神による意志なの
No, no, this couldn't be. Was I being recruited for some kind of weird cult? Start to panic. I wasn't sure if I should run. But when she said her next words, that ceased to be an option.
理想だもまたその意志による導き
Okay, I think that might be it for the non-skip parts, so we'll skip this part too. Okay, we fast-forwarded back to when Takami went back to his room. He was like getting visions of like Yua. If you look at the log, it was like, wait, I think it's new gen killer. I'm not sure. Shut up, don't treat me like I'm the killer. Oh, is this video? I wonder why they had the new line. Oh well, now we're in chapter 5. You know what? I know I said we'll see you in chapter 5, but I think that's enough for today. I'll wait until the next choice, and then I'm going to call it for today. So this is the first choice for chapter 5. But, you know what? To be honest, the auto skip function was actually significantly better in this game than like some of the other games I've played, because it shows you the new text, but also like it pretty much takes me from choice to choice, with some exceptions. Like, you know, before you saw that it had one new line, so it was like, oh, make sure you read this one line. But other than that, so far the experience of going through this like quote-unquote new game plus has actually been fairly like, you know, well thought out. So, you know, if it doesn't take too long, I might end up trying to do all of them. because I do want to see like the true ending. It seems like it's going to take a lot of work because you need. Okay, I'm looking at the guide now. I'll just scroll to the bottom. You need to complete the 8 different routes. That's a lot. And for this new route, I've only done. Okay, I'm up to chapter 5 out of like 10. So that's gonna be a bunch. Actually, I'm gonna take a quick look at the route. Alright, so I made a mistake. I probably should have been saving every beginning of a chapter, but I haven't been doing that. So, basically, in order to reduce the work for me, I should have actually made a save at every chapter start. And because there are going to be diverging areas where each individual character will have like their own section, so I wouldn't have to go through all that repetitive stuff. I think I'll end up doing that on maybe on my own time. Maybe even after this, but it seems like a lot of work to get all the endings. Like, holy crap. Originally I was wondering if each ending had 10 chapters, but I honestly can't tell. I really can't tell. But yeah, we got through a fair share of new scenes. It's interesting to see what kind of delusions Takumi will have, even though a lot of them seem like they're gonna end up being like batshit crazy. Like, one, he killed his sister and he was like, whoops, my bad. Another one, well, Yua killed him. Another one, he saw like an orgy. Another one, he saw a ghost. Another one, he saw a conspiracy of people trying to kill him. Oh no, his delusions are really all over the place. So, I'm not exactly sure what this ending will give us. On the guide, it says ending B. That is very, very not clear. But I'm sure it will result in something different than the Silent Sky. But yeah, I'm more optimistic about this this approach than I was at the end of last episode, because I was like, oh, it's gonna be so much work. But currently on chapter 5, if I assume this 10 chapters, I mean, this might end up taking like, I don't know, like another 2-3 episodes per ending. That's long. I'm not sure, but we'll end up seeing. Anyways, I've had enough of today, because Takumi is still really weird. I mentioned how I didn't really like him from the beginning of the game, and it's still kind of true. But we'll continue with this next time. Until then, I will be seeing you. See ya!